of independent mobility and function possible. Join the mission at wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
This is Sports Center.
Good morning, I'm Doug Brown. Sunday Night Baseball, the Yankees avoid getting swept by the Dodgers, winning the final game of the World Series rematch 7-3. Ben Rice with a 2-run homer. Dodgers shortstop Mookie Betts is out for tonight's game against the Mets. The fourth game he will miss with a broken toe on his left foot. Andrew McCutchen hits his 240th career home run, tying Roberto Clemente for third on the team's all-time list. The Padres beat the Pirates 6-4. The top two seeds are out in the NCAA baseball tournament. Vanderbilt knocked out by Wright State. The Commodores are the first number one overall seed to be knocked out before the regional final since the current format started in 1999. Also, number 2 seed Texas knocked out of the tournament by UT San Antonio.
Hey, everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see, every moment can be kind of special. But it can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments. It doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
The Atlanta Braves.
Cranks one high in the air to deep left field. That's going to fly. It's a 3-run homer. And Sean Murphy off the injured list and onto the stat page with a 3-run homer off Zach Wheeler.
All season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Joe Hunk. John Abraham. 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Hello and welcome in to the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk, 2 hours straight of Sports Talk Goose Gap, recap from the weekend, and so much more, including your phone calls at 256-576-4977 to join us. Talk a little bit of what we witnessed over the weekend, as well as get into some interesting stories, like getting trapped by a boulder. So you think you had a bad weekend? Just imagine 700 pounds laying on your back while you're laying face first into a very cold creek and your wife is holding your face up. Hey, at least the wife was there. Look, we got a lot of fun stories to get into, a lot of tragic stories, like Alabama's weekend, like Vanderbilt's weekend, like Texas's weekend. I mean, the list goes on. Joe Hunk, the SEC, had 13 teams make it in. It was a record, and they squandered in the moment. It just did not look good. Some of these teams, got to admit, surprised me, surprised most of the nation, and we're going to be getting through a lot of these matchups and more because the regionals continue today. Throughout today's show, which is wide open to the listeners as well over on WZZN TV, on YouTube, Facebook, and RX at 97.7 ESPN. Joe, Vanderbilt gets into this thing on a heater. I mean, this is a team that we talked very highly of that felt like they were at the right point in the season. They seemed like they had nothing that could go wrong. And then they go and play these outer conference teams.
Then everything went wrong.
And everything goes wrong. Yeah. I mean, how do you win against the SEC, win the SEC championship, and then lose 2 games to 2 teams that nobody is really thinking about being these World Series competitors?
That's just
baseball. Is this baseball?
I don't even want to say it's baseball because Texas has such a good pitching staff.
Oh,
It was crazy that they lost. No, this is the NCAA tournament, and I am starting to wonder a lot of things. Obviously, with the way that we look at the baseball, the SEC baseball tournament, the way that we look at all that, it blows me away that both Vanderbilt and Texas got eliminated in the ways in which they got eliminated. Like Vanderbilt got dominated by Wright State in that first loss.
Yeah.
Second loss, they were getting dominated. It came down to the ninth inning. They had like the tying run on the bag and were not able to get the clutch hit even after they had scored a few runs. Texas, on the other hand, Texas absolutely got dominated in their regional by UTSA.
So I didn't follow Texas as much as I did Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt only led for 1 inning out of the 27 innings that they played.
Yeah.
And that was the last inning of that Vanderbilt-Wright State matchup on the very first day of their regional. So they win 1 game. They lose to Louisville. Okay, so, hey, Louisville's the team to watch.
Well, Louisville's the team that made it to the Super Regionals.
and then Wright State beats them in the next matchup. That would have pushed them to that Louisville game.
Well, and that's where for a lot of people that missed it, what you were talking about with Vanderbilt leading in the last inning against Wright State. Wright State, I believe, had a no-hitter going through like the 6th or 7th inning. Like Vandy, it wasn't that Vanderbilt wasn't even scoring. They weren't even hitting at all. And Wright State then pulls, a Tampa Bay Rays, pulls your starter, even though he has like a no-hitter going. And Vanderbilt was able to score a run. They eventually do win that game. But in it, they were getting dominated from a pitching standpoint. It blows me away that Vanderbilt was able to do what they did in Hoover and then turn around and just play absolutely totally different at home when you have arguably the easiest of the brackets that you were supposed to have and you lose. Texas, same way goes. How Texas doesn't get through their regional it blew me away, but also watching UTSA dominate them in the regional final last night, you would have thought that Texas was on the road and UTSA was the number 2 team in the country.
It's crazy.
It was a totally different mindset. The entire, only half the stadium was filled up for Texas, which was crazy to think that in Austin that was the case. It was wild to see just those 2 teams get dominated the way they do and then lose.
Well, UTSA definitely surprised a lot of people, but also UTSA in the same, I would say, neighborhood as the Texas Longhorns. I mean, obviously not the exact same, but you get the point. I mean, these are close neighbors, and for UTSA,
I want to say UTSA had never even won a game in regionals.
This is the first time they're going to the Super Regionals.
Yeah, I don't think that they've ever even won a game in a regional play.
You might not be wrong with that, Joe. You'd have to look at the stats for it, but it is definitely impressive to say the least. And I think this goes down to, this alone. You're losing a few teams. Alabama, of course, had a terrible outing. I was just not happy at all about that. On top of that, you look at a team like Georgia, who wasn't able to get through. There was a lot of games and a lot of regions that disappointed this week for SEC fans. But for people who are just watching baseball,
I loved it.
For college baseball, they got everything and more. You had controversy coming out of Duke where a player comes out with the hard hat. He takes 2 steps onto the field and he gets ejected because it's a rule and you're not allowed to walk onto the field with a celebration.
And that wasn't even the craziest thing that happened.
Oh no!
In the regionals, you look at Oregon. Oregon got screwed.
Gosh.
I know that they still had another game to play. That only counted as 1 loss. But to lose the way that you do because of the way that they wanted to call not non-catcher interference and all this other stuff that was happening, there is no excuse for the way that play took place, because it was nowhere close to what it was supposed to be and what the rule is intended for. And you get screwed out of the way that you do, and it costs you a baseball game.
No.
And in this type of playoff, there's a ripple down effect of it, because look at Auburn, for instance. Auburn cruised. They absolutely dominated every single game that they did. They
happy
had no
to see
issues.
it. I'm gonna be real with you. Happy to see
But
it.
at the same time, that allowed them to use their Friday starter, their Saturday starter, their Sunday starter. It allowed them to go to the bullpen once they got up on NC State as much as they did. Like they had everything went according to plan with the way that you wanted to. But then you turn around and with what happens to Oregon, you then add extra games onto your pitching staff because of a bad decision. That then in turn screws you over. And then you have to deal with the mental aspect of that in your own locker room of trying to answer something that you didn't do wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big issue.
Got a lot more to get into with the College Baseball World Series, getting closer and closer to it actually kicking off. And with the Alabama loss, of course, it's disappointing. You got to look at what Rob Vaughn is doing with this organization. And this is a part of why I asked Drew DeArmond, why, is this a team that we can be confident in? And I know that he has his own beliefs in this team, and I did as well at one point, but the biggest concern for me was consistency. And I saw, and I'm glad that Alabama wasn't the only team, because now I can feel a little bit better seeing Vanderbilt do about the same, and even a team like Oregon, who was actual regional host. It is an oddball sport. You can have all of the fans of the world, everybody cheering you on, but if you're not a consistent program, then you could hit lights out, or you can hit one day every single baseball that comes your way. The next day you can pitch lights out. The next day you can lose a game. You can lose another game, even though you're projected as the favorite, even though you are in a regional that favors the team altogether. But you got to get past the easy opponents that you should be able to beat. Miami, I think Miami was beatable. 5-3 doesn't go their way. Southern Miss, on the other hand, you do not want to lose that first game. Alabama loses that first game. They're thrown into a game with an elimination game with Southern Miss, who is better than Columbia, just lost to Columbia in that first matchup. Maybe this was all planned out, because now Southern Miss is going up against Miami, and I'm going to say this, I think that Southern Miss is going to be able to capitalize here and take it and move forward. But again, very unpredictable sport. They did win against Miami in game 2, and that was 17-6, and that was the first time actually getting to see Miami themselves, and now they'll be facing off tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time, 8 o'clock our time. Joe, did you stay up to watch every single one of these games, bro? Because they got late.
No, I actually screwed up in this. And yet last night, for instance, I lost track of time, because throughout from a basically Friday when this tournament started until last night when I turned the television off, the only channel that I had it on was Squeeze Play. No matter what room I was in, no matter what I was doing, I had a family dinner on Saturday night, had on Squeeze Play. Whenever we were driving down the road watching, going to it was when Alabama and Southern Miss were playing. That was the only time that I actually put it on the game specifically, just so I could pay attention to it. But with the way that Auburn played in it, like, there was really not a reason for me to go, okay, let me swap over so I can focus solely on this. Tennessee, the way that they lost last night, like that was just absolutely ridiculous.
Gosh, what a game though! That was a spectacular.
No, it was a great game. But I was on Squeeze Play the entire time. I lost track of time last night. I'm in my office. I have Squeeze Play going on. You have 3 and 4 games going on at the same time.
On top of NASCAR in Nashville.
Yeah. So you have 3 or 4 games going on at the exact same time in college baseball. I didn't watch a single second of Braves Red Sox. I kept up with it, but didn't watch a single second of it. I was watching and doing nothing but focusing on Squeeze Play. I was getting my daughter to sleep last night, Friday night, Saturday night. We were watching Squeeze Play. Like, luckily she's loves sports. So she'll look at me and go, baseball, let's turn baseball on. So she'll fall asleep watching baseball. This is amazing. This little girl's after my heart. So I did nothing but watch it. But at the same time, you were mentioning the Alabama part of this. Yes, you should have beat Miami, but it's more about the fact that you let 3 runs score against Southern Miss in the 8th inning. That was the bigger issue, because you actually did very good against JB Middleton. Like, there was not when I look at the way that he pitched coming in with the notoriety that he had, the fact that you were able to score 5 runs on him is an absolutely outstanding day. It's the fact that your bullpen then decides that they want to choke and they want to give up the 3 runs. Those are the biggest parts of this. Now, the way that Southern Miss plays, it's very similar to Oregon, where you get a ball up in the air, that thing is going to fly. Mm-hmm. It's just the way that stadium is, with the way the wind is built and everything else. You cannot give up 3 runs in the 8th inning the way in which you did to Southern Miss, because you had the opportunity to get the out. You just didn't get the final out of the inning. That was a 2-out, put your coconuts on the table, and you get a hit. That's what that was. You've got to get the out. That was the issue for Alabama. And if they beat Southern Miss, then you could argue that they were going to go on and win this regional. The problem is Southern Miss is a darn good team. And look at what they did in the championship against Miami. They obliterated that team.
Oh, yeah. And it's not over yet, because they still have to face each other again tonight. Again, that 9 o'clock game Eastern time, so 8 o'clock our time. But we have a lot more games to cover, get into, as well as some more stories to hop into as well. And I did talk about one of the interesting controversies of a player walking on the field with a hard hat, and you're not allowed to walk on with a home run celebration. But there's another story that I like to follow because it follows a championship coach and, well, him getting into some Florida man activities down in Carolina. Either way, that's what's happening on today's show, and you guys can join in as well. 256-576-97.7 here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV. We'll be right back.
The Braves roll into the 2025 season with a singular focus. Bring home the division title and remind the league what Atlanta is all about.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley. 3-0 to Olsen, and he powers one. Deep right center field to the wall. It's going to fly. It's a home run. Back-to-back homers.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. And Owens Crossroads, Jefferson's will be opening a new location at 326 Sutton Road very soon. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. Hampton Cove, and soon in Owens Crossroads. Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games, and if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beams likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
Quiet and mostly clear for this Monday night. Low temperatures going to be falling into the upper 60s. Tuesday, another afternoon full of sunshine. High temperatures warming into the upper 80s. Rain returns back to the forecast on Thursday. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I may not know what a fiend is, Joe Hunk, but I think that Kevin O'Sullivan might be a fiend. I have no idea. I don't know. But I'm looking at what Coastal Carolina coach had to say about him. Kevin Schnall.
A fiend, by the way, is a devil or a demon.
And I think he's looking at Kevin O'Sullivan like he's a little bit of a demon. He's on demon mode or something like that, just because there wasn't too good of blood prior to this game going on.
I was curious because I never got the answer to it, and I was looking for it. Why were they angry about the timing or scheduling? Like that's the part I never got.
Well, we haven't gotten a reason yet. And even Kevin O'Sullivan, he said, no, I'm not talking about it. No, we figured it out.
But what happened? Because again, I was watching games. I'm like, oh, look, the game's on. Let me swap it over there. I didn't see what was the whole scheduling thing that everybody was so upset about.
I'm not exactly sure on what all happened with it switching up. So you can try and find the information on that. And I'm also not sure on what he did that got Coach Schnall so upset, but I will say this. I will quote what he said, at least. As a coach, it's our job to mentor young kids. And the way he treated the two site reps, Joe, you might have to finish off.
Well, no, and I'm looking because basically what's happened is our with this was a lot about was upset with the scheduling change for today. He ripped the NCAA staff at Conway. He also reportedly had things to say to the Pirates as they crossed the field this morning. But I was just curious as to what actually happened, because it says, he disrespected our field crew, things like that. Like that's the part that I actually missed about why the coach was so angry.
Well, I think he just came in there and he was already upset. He was already just mad and not having a good day. And on top of that, whenever you have to play against all these lowly teams like a Coastal Carolina, an Eastern
won a national
Carolina,
championship,
and a Fairfield, it's a Florida team that's coming in there with so much pride that it overflows. And I think that's exactly what happened with Coach O'Sullivan. It overflowed into anger towards some of the staff over in Coastal Carolina. And, lots of words were thrown around, and it led to, Florida not even getting to play Coastal Carolina, which is the funniest part about it. And, of course, Florida losing 2 games to East Carolina to be sent home for good.
Even Yahoo is saying that he ripped into him and for an incident which is still, the specifics are not known.
Not known.
I have no idea. I mean, the only thing, if it's a scheduling issue, the only thing that I could think about would be batting practice. Like that would be something like that.
Yeah.
Where you were supposed to be given an allotment of time and the time changed because of so I don't know. Like that's the only thing I could think of. If it wasn't actually the on-field time of when the first pitch was supposed to happen, the only thing that I could think of would be batting practice, that sort of thing. That's it. That's the only thing I could come up with.
Yeah, maybe somebody who might know a little bit more could be Greg on the phone lines. You guys can join him as well to join in on the conversation. 256-576-4977. Greg, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Enjoying the show. And I was going to call. I'm a huge baseball fan and have been for years, college baseball.
Yeah.
For years and years. And I tell people the reason I am is because ground ball in the infield
Yes.
And the other thing I love about it is you're in a Major League Baseball game and one team's up 4 runs after 7 innings or 5 runs, that team's going to win. The head team's going to win. In college baseball, one of the great things, and yesterday was a great example, no lead is safe. At any point, no lead is safe. And the funniest game yesterday to me, and I had a hard time keeping up there just so much, but the funniest game to me was the Georgia game. And if you're going to have a run and run the first base with the bat in your hand and then throw it at the other team's dugout, you better win the game. So the fact that Georgia, I'm an SEC guy, but the fact that Oklahoma State hung in there and won that game was the funniest thing in the world to me because of the way Georgia was the first 3-4 innings.
Yeah, and look, and for Georgia to lose, it wasn't even the fact that, like, I agree with you on everything you said. It's the fact that Georgia scored like 32 runs in this regional and was eliminated. Like, they scored 20 runs in the first game, and then they scored 9 runs against Oklahoma State, and they lose.
Yeah, and I like a one-nothing game every now and then, but that's not there like college baseball, I guess, with the bats, the aluminum bats and everything. It's, they're hitting it all over the place, and that's another reason I love college baseball. But, yesterday was insane. And I tell people that watch the Braves every night that have never seen a college baseball game that you're missing out. You're missing out because the college baseball is wildly entertaining.
Oh, absolutely.
No doubt about it.
No, I mean, you're 1,000% correct on that. I mean, like, you can even look at Clemson and Kentucky. The fact that game was actually tied at 2 going into the third, and then after the third and fourth inning, Kentucky scored like 11 runs between those 2 innings, and it was ball game. I mean, like, it can turn that quickly in incidents like that. Like, it was outlandish to see some of the games that happened. Like, even with Texas was down to UTSA. UTSA could have got out of the game and won that game easily. And instead, there was a ground ball right up the middle on an all artificial surface field that the shortstop boots, and it goes right into the center field. And Texas has an opportunity. They score 2 runs. And I mean, this is all with 2 outs. I mean, there was still an opportunity for Texas to beat UTSC last night, but they weren't able to do it because they just they ran out enough time. I mean, Cal Poly. Yeah.
Enjoy that. I really enjoy the show, guys. I'm listening on the wire. I appreciate it.
Good deal, man.
Thank you,
Appreciate you, Greg.
I mean, look, and I hate the way Tennessee lost just because I like Tennessee.
Gosh. And that goes off of the first thing that Greg said is you see like a pop fly and it's a routine type of, he's going to catch it. And it's the same thing with any other professional sport, Joe. And this is something that a lot of people, they like to make a problem about, but the athletes are too good in the professional sport, and that's why they might not want to watch it. They want to watch a little bit more of a human sport, which is college baseball, college football. There's more mistakes that are to be made. Tennessee, for instance, pop fly. The kid totally loses it. I don't know where he thinks the ball's gone, and then the Wake Forest kid gets on third base. That sets up for huge mistakes with huge implications. You do not see that as many times in the MLB.
Well, no, and then you also see like the way the ball game ended, because for people that didn't see it, ball game was tied. It was 6-6. You had a runner on first and second base, and what happens is a bunt right back to Nate Snead. He tries to turn around. He wants to go get the lead runner at third base, but he's not able to do it because the secondary lead that the runner got at second to get to third, he then turns around and he doesn't have enough time to throw it to first. The problem with that is I understand the thought process, but you had no outs in the inning. And so if you turn around, take the ground ball bunt, go over and get the out at first base, then you load the bases again with the next batter, you still have an opportunity to turn a double play and get out of the ball game. It was trying to get too greedy in that instance. Now, again, they still play today. But those small little decisions are something that's going to cost you.
Yeah, and I like that that you brought that up as well, because that was following the pop fly. I mean, even after that fly ball that the kid missed in the outfield, they still got the third out. They still changed it over, and the game still went on 6-6 until it finally ended off with Wake Forest winning the thing.
And the thing about with Auburn is that Auburn dominated NC State so quickly that, again, I had it on squeeze play. So they showed the beginning of the Auburn game, and then after they got up 7-0, I didn't see another thing about Auburn until they were getting the last out. Like, it was just that dominant of a performance because of how well Ike Irish had another 3-run homer. That basically is what did NC State in. They were up 4-0. He hits a bomb down the right field line, and that basically did them in. But you can look at the way West Virginia and Kentucky played. Like, West Virginia scored 1 run in the top of the 9th inning or the bottom of the 8th inning. They turn around going into the top of the 9th, and everybody went, you know what? I don't actually think this one run lead is safe. Like, it was one of those. That final score was 13-12. Like, there were so many crazy games. The Cal Poly Utah Valley game is there. And look, we haven't even hit on the 2 biggest ones. And we obviously mentioned
we've tickled them.
Well, we did. We talked a little bit about the Wright State upsetting Vandy, which Louisville's going to be representing that. The Little Rock story is so outlandish.
I don't know anything about the Little Rock.
So Little Rock and LSU are playing in the final game tonight. Winner goes to the Super Regionals.
There's no way it can go the way that it did in the last game. 10-4 against LSU, Little Rock? They got shut out in the first time round.
Here's what's so crazy about it.
22 against Rhode Island.
Little Rock going after winning last night. Would you like to guess what Little Rock's record is in 2025 going into this game this evening?
I'm going to say they got 32 wins.
No, they have 33 losses.
Oh.
They are 27-33.
Okay.
They have won 8 of their last 9 games.
They got in here by the skin of their teeth, all right?
No, they got in because they won the OVC tournament, which they went into losing 13 of their last 14 games.
Wow.
Okay. They were 1-13 in their last 14 games going into the OVC tournament. They beat the number 1 seed Eastern Illinois twice. They then go in after going through the entire OVC. They go through that. They then go into this. They beat LSU. They beat them last night. And now they are in this. They have a losing record. They would have to make it to, they would still have to make it to like the semifinals of the College World Series just to be over 500.
It's like the Seahawks back in 2011, I believe. It was just like a team that has a losing record makes it to the playoffs, and then they actually push past one of the better teams in the NFL. That's an extreme story right there. I mean, now I gotta focus a little bit more on this Little Rock squad.
This is very much goes into what he was talking about a second ago on the phones about how crazy the NCAA baseball tournament can be. Because look, number 1 seeds have lost since we went to the super regional format. It's happened. Okay?
Never the way that Vandy did, though.
No, never the way that Vandy. Well, it's never happened the way that Vandy has. They've lost, but they've never lost like that. Okay. You've had the number 1 and the number 2 seed both lose in the tournament. I want to say the last time that happened was like 2014, but it has happened. But to have Little Rock, which you could basically say is team number 64 out of 164, playing in Baton Rouge against LSU with an opportunity to go to a super regional, and they have a losing record. Again, they would have to get all the way probably to the semifinals in Omaha to even be at 500. That is why this is such an outlandish thing that they're even in this spot. Wright State eventually lost to Louisville. But Little Rock, seriously, if you had not watched a single game that has happened so far in this, nobody could tell you what the mascot of Little Rock, Arkansas was. Actually, can you tell me the mascot of them right now? Because I know you haven't watched it. No, close.
Trojan.
Actually, very close. Yes, it's
Yay!
Trojan. Yeah, no, you're actually very close. Yeah, like nobody would have known that. Nobody would have. It is outlandish to think that they're even in this situation. Georgia, on the other hand, again, they scored 32 runs, and they don't even make it to the super regionals. Like, that's how this tournament plays out. You have the number 1, the number 2 seeds losing. You have a team that scores 32 runs, not even make it to the super regionals. You have a team that has a losing record playing for an opportunity at a super regional tonight. This is the tournament.
Oh, it definitely is. Ohio Valley Conference is 1-1 in this thing right now, and that's all because of Little Rock. And we go through the top conferences. The SEC 18-10 through the regionals, of course, pending more. ACC is 15-5. The Atlantic 10 is 0-2. Big East is 1-1, and let's just get down to the Sun Belt being 3-1, which is actually very impressive by them. The Missouri Valley Conference 2-0. You look at the Big 12, 8-9, and there's a whole lot of conferences within this. This isn't your typical, college football playoffs. This is more like the basketball, but even more ridiculous because there's even more conferences when it comes to the baseball side of things.
Well, and I know you mentioned the Kevin O'Sullivan side of this, and him getting angry and all that. Coastal Carolina is not a bad baseball team. Like you have to, this is the one. They are the nationally ranked as far as the 13 overall seed. But at the same time, this program is totally different than what you think of with their basketball and their football program. Because of the way that scholarships work, it's more of an even playing field. Now, if the NCAA in the California and all these different universities start to go and start to figure out about what they want to do scholarship-wise, which now there are some schools that are all saying that they want to make every single sport a scholarship sport because it probably would actually save them money. They're going to make them all a scholarship sport. That may change the landscape of it, or it could even make it even more balanced right now, college baseball wise. But your Coastal Carolinas, your Wright States, your Little Rocks, they all can play on the exact same field. And once you start getting into this day, which every single one of these games is a quote unquote game 7, because that's the 7th game of the series. When you get to days like today, it's all bullpen days. You're not throwing your Friday starter again on Monday. He may be available for an inning, maybe 2, but you're not going with him for 5 or 6. Like your JB Middleton's is not going to pitch again after pitching 2 days ago. That is not going to happen. So what you're having to go with now is this is basically weekday pitchers versus weekday pitchers.
We only have 2 super regionals set in stone for now. Auburn versus Coastal Carolina, which is going to be a fun matchup. And on top of that, on the opposite side of the bracket, UCLA versus UTSA, which yet again should be an interesting one. Can UTSA do it again against the regional host?
UCLA looked good last night. I mean, they rolled.
They are no pushover. 19 runs in their first matchup against Fresno State, 11 in their second against Arizona State, and then why not 8 versus UC Irvine, who I got to admit, a little impressed. I didn't know about this college until the beginning of March Madness this past year. UC Irvine really showing up in these athletics. I will say that.
Well, and this is where baseball is so different because look at how many California schools are in the tournament. USC, UCLA, UC Irvine are some of the ones that you just mentioned over the course of it. Long Beach State has been historically a tremendous baseball team as far as historically throughout the state of California. You can go through the state, it goes back to the scholarships offers and the amount of bodies in the state of California, because all of these players can all play close to home and still be at a quote unquote powerhouse team. Cal Poly is another example right now because of how well that they've been playing. So that's where the state of California is because it is so big. It does have the opportunity with the amount of players baseball wise in that state that they are going to be able to have numerous college teams be so good because of the way that the scholarships are set up that way, in which you're able to use a lot of your in-state kids. I don't know if California has the lottery or if it goes into anything like that the same way that Tennessee does. So those schools right there, those are reasons why you're seeing your UC Irvine, your Long Beach State, your Cal Polys, even UCLA and USC, all of those teams being able to get into the tournament because the state of California has so many good baseball teams.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And baseball players.
We're going to hop into a break, but when we come back, Vandy, of course, dropped their regional. And let's just say it was historical, to say the least. And honestly, extremely sad because I loved what I was seeing from this Vandy team, but I'm still going to ride with Arkansas. Regardless, we'll talk about the historical meaning behind their loss and their regional as the number 1 overall seed in the college baseball tournament. That's what's coming up here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV.
This is Brent Musburger's BSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Auburn Tigers will meet Coastal Carolina in the Super Regional round of the NCAA baseball tournament. Tigers are 10-1 to win the College World Series. Coastal Carolina 15-1. The Chanticleers have won 21 consecutive games. They're 51-11. Major League Baseball tomorrow. The Atlanta Braves hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks at Truist Park. Spencer Strider for the Braves, Zach Galvin for the Diamondbacks. Red Sox with a 3-1 win over the Braves yesterday. Oklahoma City Thunder laying 9.5 against Indiana. Game 1 of the NBA Finals on Thursday at the Paycom Center. Total 230.5. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of iconic casinos, world-class shows, dining, and entertainment. Las Vegas. With flights starting as low as just $79, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Las Vegas. Book nonstop to Las Vegas now at flybreeze.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your Your shingles, we can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The Atlanta Braves.
3-2. Swung on, ground ball up the middle. Let's go for a ride. Here comes Eli. Across the plate standing. Braves win. Never gets old, does it?
All season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Partying here on the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, 256-576-4. 97.7 is the number to get in. You're slacking over there, Joe.
I had it muted still.
It's okay.
I was sitting here calculating something. It is crazy. If Little Rock wins tonight, they will have more wins in the last 2 weeks than the Colorado Rockies have all season.
Damn. Literally, I mean, the Colorado Rockies, I was going to get into them later. That is one of the worst teams. I just want everybody to put this into perspective. One of the worst teams this century. I'm not just saying this decade. Century, 100 years. One of the worst teams.
If Little Rock wins tonight, they will have 9 wins, which is exactly what Colorado has this season.
That's terrible. In the last how many?
And they have 60 games. And they played, this would be 60 games whenever the Rockies play the next game.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, they will have as many wins in the last 2 weeks as Colorado has had all season long.
That's so bad. I mean, I heard somebody talking about how, like, Scotty Scheffler's got more wins than them in the last, I don't know, in this season of golf, which, again, you don't win much in golf. I just want to say that. You maybe get top 5, and that's a good outing, but some people just built different. Similar in NASCAR, but I'm not going to irritate Joe's little non-NASCAR mind. I will irritate you, though, with this, Joe. The Huntsville Astros, they started football in the IFA this past weekend.
Phone lines are open to you. 256-576.
Or you can't
977.
You can't dog them too much.
No, I'm not dogging them at all. I'm just saying we have callers on the line.
You can't dodge them, Joe.
Yeah.
You can't dodge them.
No, I'm not dodging them whatsoever.
I do want to say this. They won 45-0. So, hey, we might have a good football team in the IFA, whatever the International Football Association, is that what they call it? Regardless, it's some football and it's going on here in the Rocket City. They play at Milton Frank, by the way, Joe. And they also rock like
you're still going.
Lions
256-576-4977. Who's online?
I'll get to that here in a second. They rock Lions numbers on their jerseys. It's actually a pretty good brand. Pretty good branding by them. It's not the Trash Pandas, though. Jay, how you doing, man?
I'm doing, brother. I'm doing good, brother. How are y'all?
Doing good, man.
Hey, Joe, I just think the Alabama staff they think too much when they get to postseason because, the game against Missouri in the SEC tournament, they pitch Tyler Fay, and then they win the game, and then they go to a bullpen guy. The second game is Tennessee. Why not just stay with your weekend rotation? That helps you improve. It helps you get those wins throughout the season, and then like the regional Friday, we're gonna pitch Riley Quick and put Tyler Fay in the bullpen and this loser. Just keep going with the same routine. It's just almost like he's thinking too much. Trying to think out of the box.
I do agree with you on trying to keep your rotation similar. The only difference in a way like this, the only reason why I would hold off on my ace would be if I was expecting to obviously play them the next day. Like again with JB Middleton, look at the way that Southern Miss went about their rotation. He is hands down their ace. They did not throw him in the first game. They obviously did not expect to lose that first game, but in which they did. But then you come back with him. He pitched 7 innings, but he also doesn't pitch well. So I could, and I'm saying he doesn't pitch well because he shouldn't be giving up 5 runs, especially when he's only averaging about, I think his ERA right now somewhere around 2.30. So that wasn't a good game for him. And there is something about taking your pitchers out of their normal routine and getting them to start in different days and that sort of thing. That is very hard. But in regional play, you try to get it where you have your best pitcher against the best team that you're going to face to help you get the win.
Yeah. And that's what I could understand, an SEC tournament, why he pitched a bullpen guy against Tennessee, a team that is real good. And I would have used the bullpen guy against Missouri because they were at the time not playing well, and then go with Faye and then quit and see how that goes. But that's why I guess he makes the bigger bucks than I do.
Well, and this also has to do with the way that the SEC baseball tournament is set up, because that game was played on a Wednesday. You're not going to want your ace, if you want to go with Quick, you don't want to go with him after he just pitched 4 or 5 days ago. You want to try to give him his full 7 days rest. Plus, again, I am a component and I'm a person that believes the SEC tournament doesn't matter. Like, it genuinely doesn't matter. Like, it is, we had what, 13, 14 teams make it in from the SEC this year. So for everybody that played in the SEC tournament, there were maybe 3 teams that this really didn't matter that because they weren't going anywhere. Like, unless Missouri ran the table, they were not going to make it into the NCAA tournament. If South Carolina would have ran it, then they might have made it in. Like, the SEC tournament can help you a little. It turned Tennessee from being a 2 seed into being a team that's hosting a regional. But from the biggest standpoint is you also want to make sure that your pitching staff stays consistent, because that will throw off a starter regardless. Now, if you would have made it to maybe even Saturday when you're going up into the semifinals, then you may go with your Friday, Saturday starters. But you got to be very careful with those guys, because you don't want to lose their arms in a tournament that really doesn't matter.
Yeah, and if you win 2 games at Vanderbilt, you may host, and you got to worry about winning 1 or 2 in the SEC tournament. But
that's true.
And a big shout out to a local kid here from Athens, Tucker Stockman. He was the guy that got the game winning, I guess, hits for Southern Miss to beat Alabama. Great kid, comes from a great family, and awesome job seeing him down at Southern Miss doing what he does. But I appreciate you guys taking my call. Y'all have a great rest of the week. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey, thanks for that, man. And I'm making sure he was the one that got the go-ahead hit in the 8th inning, the one that was like a breaking ball low. That wasn't even a strike, but he was able to hit just a line drive right over the second baseman's head. That was a tremendous hit by him, because it was a 2-strike count. He strikes out. That's basically going to be ball game. Southern Miss wasn't going to be able to most likely score in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
And that was a massive hit that he got.
Double RBI. He singled to right center, and that right there really did change the whole story of that game. It went 6-5, and that's what you were talking about earlier. It wasn't supposed to happen. You didn't want to see it happen if you're an Alabama fan, but it is a huge moment for Stockman. And again, he's one of those guys from the area. So give him some love for that, even though he's beaten a lot of people's favorite
this is
teams.
also the reason why whenever somebody signs a scholarship and they go, "Oh, where are you going?" If you name something other than an SEC school, you're going to, they're going to raise their nose at you thinking like, "Oh, you're going there?" Southern Miss is a great baseball team. Coastal Carolina, great baseball team. Like, just because you go to a second tier Division I school doesn't mean that you don't have the opportunity, especially with the way the Major League Baseball draft happens.
Oh,
dude, you're going to get found anywhere. If you're anywhere close to good.
If my buddy's going to Southern Miss or he's going to Coastal Carolina, then he's already on his way to making it. Okay, we're talking about like D3 schools that I'd maybe be like, oh, that's cool. But if you're going into a D1 squad that has the capabilities like Southern Miss, like Coastal, that make it to these tournaments, the tournament, then I'm gonna be respecting you all the way. And for a team like Alabama, although I'm very upset with how they performed, and I know a lot of our listeners are because they had to listen to it on the airways. You got to look back on a great season. There were a lot of things to look at and to like about this team. The record was great. They were a little inconsistent against the conference, but that's what the conference made us believe was all about. That was the rhetoric of the conference. Look, it's tough to beat SEC opponents, but now the SEC needs to prove that it's tough to beat SEC opponents because they're scattered, and so far it has not been the case.
Well, there are 2 SEC teams that have advanced so far. You have Auburn and Arkansas.
You lose 7 of them.
They have advanced. 2 of those you definitely didn't expect to lose. You didn't expect Vandy or Texas to lose. You obviously also didn't expect Georgia to lose.
Georgia's one thing. Georgia was to me, I like them. I think they were more consistent than Alabama.
It was
squad
their
this
pitch.
year.
You scored 32 runs.
But at the same time, this was a all or nothing team instead of Alabama, which was a kinda almost every single game.
32 runs.
Well, 20 of them was against Binghamton.
It doesn't
the
matter.
Dragons or whatever they're called.
You scored 32 runs.
I keep calling them the Dragons. They're the Bearcats, but it's a green Bearcat. Bobcat? I don't know.
But it is like
Bingham.
Those teams is one thing. You don't expect Oklahoma to advance, even though they've got a game 7 against North Carolina today. Ole Miss, you expect them to advance. You expect Tennessee to advance. You expect LSU to advance. Now, if we only get 2 SEC teams in the super regionals, then you're talking about it's a disappointment, mainly in the Vandy and Texas side of things.
I feel like it outweighs. I feel like those 2 squads, the Vanderbilt and Texas, outweighs a lot of it. So I want to know first, what would your grade be for the SEC in the regionals so far?
Well, it's an incomplete. Ask me that tomorrow.
I'm going to ask you now, and you can, write over that grade
It's an
tomorrow.
I for incomplete.
Boo!
Because, look, I didn't expect Kentucky to advance. Florida, I actually kind of did expect them to advance.
I did too.
Mississippi State, I didn't expect. They got to the final. Alabama, I didn't expect them to advance. Georgia, Texas, and Vandy, I absolutely expected them to advance.
No doubt. Well, we still got to wait for a few conclusions, and I'm very excited for one of them. Oklahoma versus UNC is going to be an interesting one, but we'll talk a little bit more about that and more as we get into the second hour, best hour of the show. We'll be right back. Phone calls as well on the other side.
Carrabba's Italian Grill is the best place to enjoy authentic Italian cuisine, passed down from our founders' family recipes. Featuring a wood-burning grill, you can enjoy Carrabba's signature dishes, including chicken brine, wood-fired grilled steak and chops, and classic Italian pasta dishes. Have a special event? Elevate your catering with Carrabba's Catering, the perfect way to enjoy large party portions of your favorite hand-prepared dishes for any event. Carrabba's Italian Grill at Parkway Place, Huntsville.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm in the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A+ rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, We love what we do, and it shows. Visit lifetimeepoxyfloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
This is Steve Moulton for Tellini's Italiano. Tellini's Italiano is located right in front of the Walmart, right off of University, behind the McDonald's. More or less catty corner from Topgolf. It's one of my favorite places to go to, and if you go there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you need to try the baked spaghetti, add a meatball. Also try the baked ziti with meat sauce, add sausage. You'll thank me. Save room for some pizzas and paninis as well. And don't forget about dessert as well. The best cheesecake I have had here in North Alabama is at Tellini's Italiano. Find out for yourself today. That's Tellini's Italiano, right off of University Drive in front of the Walmart. Located online at Tellinis.com. That's TELLINIS.com. Let's get some Tellini's tonight.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Auburn Tigers will meet Coastal Carolina in the Super Regional round of the NCAA baseball tournament. Tigers are 10-1 to win the College World Series. Coastal Carolina 15-1. The Chanticleers have won 21 consecutive games. They're 51-11. Major League Baseball tomorrow. The Atlanta Braves hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks at Truist Park. Spencer Strider for the Braves. Zach Galvin for the Diamondbacks. Red Sox with a 3-1 win over the Braves yesterday. Oklahoma City Thunder laying 9.5 against Indiana. Game 1 of the NBA Finals on Thursday at the Paycom Center. Total 230.5. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
Plenty of sunshine in the forecast for this Monday, with high temperatures warming into the mid-80s for the afternoon. A mostly clear sky to be expected for our Monday night, with low temperatures falling into the upper 60s. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and the Blitz. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, with you on this Monday as we all get it going, as try to remember what was happening on the weekend, because you know somebody's going to ask and you're going to say, yeah, I have no clue what I did this weekend.
It's just all baseball. I mean, it was all baseball. It was me fiddling with my PC a little bit. It was also me getting some stuff ready because Joe, I know you probably didn't want to go this direction, but I'm going to take it this direction.
So we're brought to you by Fleming Roofing Restoration.
I was going to get down that line.
No, doesn't matter.
I was going to do that.
Didn't trust you.
Damn it.
Didn't trust you.
You need to trust me, Joe. We've been doing this long enough. You got to trust that I know where I'm going with it, even on days like this. I got 3 computers in front of my face, and only one of them has a picture of the Jacksonville Jaguars helmet. But yes, Fleming Roofing and Restoration are the people you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. They're the guys that show up whenever you need roofing help, whether it's a full roof repair or a very tiny shingle that needs to be replaced. Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys to contact about all of that. You can find them at FlemingHSV.com. Why did I bring up the Jacksonville Jaguars helmet? I was going to get into something totally different, Joe. Saquon Barkley being on the cover of Madden 26. Have you seen the cover? Because it's all over the place.
I have, and it's Saquon Barkley but the Jaguars sticker has been taken off of the
That's
helmet.
what I'm saying. I don't like that because you can clearly see that is obviously it was against the Jags, but there's no sticker on the helmet.
Yeah, this is the picture of him doing the backwards hurdle over the Jaguars player, and they took the sticker off of the helmet because it was like, I'm assuming it is hey, we don't want to embarrass you. The problem is that now it's bringing more attention to it.
Thank you.
So now you are going to embarrass them even more.
I appreciate the fans of the NFL for calling out what is going on with the NFL because you can't just leave that off. There is going to be a trailer with the player hurdling another player. That player is probably going to be a Jaguar or another player in the NFL. There is embarrassment in the NFL. There's also glory within the NFL. You have to be able to represent both sides of it.
256-576-977. We have two SEC teams that have advanced through the NCAA regional round, Auburn and Arkansas. Auburn is going to be hosting Coastal Carolina this weekend. Arkansas is going to be hosting the winner of Tennessee and Wake Forest. That game is going to be happening later on this evening. Vanderbilt, Texas, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi State, Florida, and Kentucky have all been eliminated.
But Arkansas, awaiting the winner of that Tennessee-Wake Forest matchup, is exciting me the most.
You have 4 different deciding games happening today that involve SEC teams. Oklahoma has an opportunity to upset North Carolina. That game's at 2:00.
Winner of that one plays Arizona.
Ole Miss is taking on Murray State at 5:00.
Winner plays Duke.
Wake Forest and Tennessee that we just mentioned, that first pitch is at 5:00.
Arkansas.
And Little Rock is in LSU, play tonight at 8:00.
Wow.
Because that's very smart of them to do. College baseball is happening, but also is the Women's College World Series. Texas and Tennessee are playing this afternoon. First pitch is going to be at 12:00. Oklahoma and Texas Tech are pitching and playing tonight. First pitch for that one's going to be at 6:00. Tennessee and Oklahoma both have to win twice to advance to the national championship round.
Am I missing out since I'm not watching as much of this softball tournament as I probably should be? What are you thinking about this one? You think it's getting copy and paste, or you think this is what the baseball tournament should be?
Well, it's not copy and paste because Oklahoma actually lost a game, which is, that seriously is like Thor getting cut on his face. Like, you're like, wait, what?
It's a little scratch.
Wait, hold on. That can happen? So Oklahoma losing is a big part of this. It's like here locally when the Hazel Green girls lost in the AHSAA basketball tournament. You're like, whoa, wait, hold up, what? What do you mean they lost? They never lose. Like, they definitely never lose at that point in time. That is absolutely outlandish. What's also crazy is Mississippi State doing some of the most low down things as far as brilliant marketing in which they did. Because if you don't know, they lost to Florida State last night in the regional championship game.
Put up a good fight, though.
It wasn't 45 minutes after they lost, they had already announced that Brian O'Connor was going to be their next head coach. They hadn't even left the locker room yet, and the announcement became official. Like, they basically went to the press conference and said, yeah, it sucks we lost to Florida State. By the way, we would like to announce right now that our brand new head coach, like, it was just, let's not even focus on the loss whatsoever. Instead, we're bringing one of the biggest names in college baseball to one of the biggest programs in college baseball.
Yeah, this wouldn't have been on my radar unless you didn't bring it up to me yesterday. I mean, you brought it up. It wasn't yesterday, it was Friday. And I was thinking to myself, that would be a crazy move. And then, of course, it happens. And now I'm just like, okay, so that's one way to totally silence all of the sad Mississippi State fans and also anybody else who's keeping an eye on the actual tournament itself to turn their eyes back on the Bulldogs to see their new coach.
If you don't know anything about Brian O'Connor, he led Virginia to the national championship in 2015, which is where he was also national coach of the year.
Yep. He was also a police officer at one point, and then he switched to a racing gang and drove a Supra. Oh, wrong one. Oh, I'm sorry, Joe.
Yeah, no, totally different one.
Right.
Yeah, no. This O'Connor may be about family as well. but totally different.
I don't know about
No.
that.
5-time ACC Coach of the Year. 2 times he has led Virginia to the ACC Tournament Championship, and he has gotten to Virginia to the College World Series 6 different times.
Impressive.
So the reason I bring up the resume is what would be the equivalent of this in college football?
In college
Because
football.
Mississippi State just won a national championship a few years ago. They have arguably the best atmosphere in all of college baseball. Just ask Grayson. And they just pulled off and signed one of the biggest coaches in college baseball right now.
Would you say maybe Urban Meyer back in the early 2010 era? You think that?
Talking about like leaving when he left Florida because the heart issues and went to Ohio State?
I would maybe say that. I mean, regardless, Ohio State was still a pretty decent team, but
It's not like that. Yeah, they had won a national championship in 2002.
Yeah, but they didn't reach greatness until
he won it in 2014 when they won the first college football.
I would go to Urban Meyer. Obviously he doesn't have the track record now, but back then, this is a very highly touted coach. I would think so, wouldn't you? You go on, win a national championship with another team as well in Florida, and then you go and win one with Ohio State.
My thought is almost like a Dabo Swinney going to Michigan. Like they've won national championships. But they're still like in this big era of how big their name is and how everybody talks about the big house and the atmosphere and everything about it. But then you turn around and you hire a head coach from the ACC that had won a national championship, that had made it to numerous college football playoffs, that had, won the tournament, basically dominated the ACC at one point in time. And then he goes to Michigan. This would be like Michigan getting eliminated in the semifinals of the college football playoff. And then at the pressers, it's like, hey, yeah, we hate that we lost, but brand new head coach Dabo Swinney, we'd like to bring him up to the podium right here. And we'd like to formally announce him as our head coach.
Coaches, the coaching carousel in baseball is so fun, in college baseball specifically, because it's a lot of coaches flying from one place, like Texas A&M, to a place like Texas. There's it's like no holds barge.
That is some straight. That's dirty.
But why? Why are these coaches doing
dirty.
these things?
That is like Nick Saban leaving Alabama and going to Auburn dirty.
I think it's such a fun and interesting thing that
You think Texas A&M fans weren't laughing their tails off when Texas lost the other night?
It was all about watching them lose.
When they lost to UTSA, not just that you lost, but you also lost to UTSA in your own state, in your own stadium, where your stadium was only about half full for your regional game, which is outlandish to think that would even be the case.
Well, again, UTSA won in their state too. So,
well, they did, but this is like UAB upsetting Alabama. Like, are you serious?
Well, yeah, you're not too wrong on that.
I'm wearing my UTSA stuff, but normally I'm in my burnt orange because I'm all about Texas and like hook 'em. But right now I'm all about the Roadrunners. Like, that's what it is. On Saturdays we cheer for UAB, and Alabama. Like, it's one of those.
Yeah.
Like, nobody walks around except for maybe today and goes, I am a UTSA fan. Suck it, Longhorns. Maybe like 0.1%.
Well, maybe Josh has some input on this conversation as he joins us on the phone lines. Josh, how you doing, man?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing good. How about you?
Better than Stephon Diggs.
Oh, man, I know, man. I can't complain. It's a typical work day, not too bad, so I ain't going to complain.
Sweet, man. What can we do for you?
I did want to say, as far as the coaching comparison to college football, I would compare it to Georgia, since Kirby Smart's had, so much success in getting them to the national championship so many times, but not necessarily winning them.
Right. And that was in Virginia, 1-1. They made it to one another time, and then they lost. I want to say that may have been to Coastal Carolina, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
I do believe you're right.
Yeah. No, that's kind of what the reason why I brought this up, because this is a big deal. And if this was college football, this would be a massive story of a head coach in a premier program leaving to go elsewhere.
I think next year everybody better watch out for Mississippi State, because he's a heck of a head coach.
Oh no! Look,
Mississippi State already was a pretty decent program, So I definitely think he'll get them over that hump.
Well, and it's already started, because their first baseman, Henry Ford, that for Virginia, he's already announced that he's entering the transfer portal, and he batted .350 this year. And I want to say he had like 28 home runs or something. Like, he's already entered the transfer portal. Now, I'm not saying he's going to Mississippi State, but I mean, that would be a guy that if I'm O'Connor, I'm sitting and thinking to myself, yeah, I want to bring him to Mississippi State.
Free travel too, apparently.
Yeah, one can only assume, right? Yeah. And I'm sure a good bit of money will come along with that with the SEC.
Oh, absolutely. SEC, Mississippi State in the middle of, again, arguably one of the best atmospheres in all of college baseball. Yeah, absolutely. I'd leave Virginia and go there.
I wouldn't think twice about it, that's for sure.
No, absolutely not. I mean, again, it's like thinking, all right, I could leave Clemson and I can go play at the big house. Like, okay, like I'm pretty sure I'm going to love Saturdays if I was going to do that football wise.
And Joe, I hope you didn't jinx us, man. After the Vandy loss this year, let's hope UAB doesn't beat Alabama at some point in the near future.
Well, they got to step on the field together for that to ever happen. First,
that's true.
Yeah, they got to step on the field together. But no, that's what UTSA. What does the UT stand for in UTSA? It's the University of Texas San Antonio, which is a part of the University of Texas college program in Austin. Like, it is literally your little brother.
Right. Yeah, no, that definitely was an embarrassment.
No, and they got dominated.
Especially with Texas's pitching staff. I mean, that was brutal.
Oh, absolutely it was. You were set up that you should have been able to walk through that tournament and dominate and then go into the super regionals hosting there. And instead you struggled all weekend long.
Yep.
You shouldn't have. Yeah.
Hey, fellas, I love the show like always. Y'all have a good one. I will holler at you guys tomorrow, man.
All right. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it, man.
No, it is wild because, I mean, obviously the way that these brackets are kind of set up, they're not the same as what we see in college football or any other sport, really. But, you see these regionals get placed, and I'm just looking at Vanderbilt. I'm looking at Texas, and I'm thinking to myself, how are you the number 1 and 2 seeds? And how are you guys losing 2 games against teams that are definitely not on your level? I still don't understand it. It's got me shaking my head. These are teams that played up against SEC opponents all season long.
No, they were. And John's going to get that phone call. We're going to continue this conversation as well when we come back, as it is a Monday. We are obviously reacting to Alabama getting eliminated from the NCAA tournament. Auburn is advancing. Tennessee has a TBD. We'll figure that out after they play Wake Forest tonight. Are they going home? Are they going to the super regionals? All of that is on the table, as well as I'm kind of curious about this because I started seeing it after Alabama lost. Why is everybody hating on Rob Vaughn so much in going into this after they got eliminated by Southern Miss? We'll talk more about that, as well as your phone calls as we continue on this Monday. John Abraham, Joe Hunk, as we continue on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, WZZN TV, as well as the Blitz.
This is Steve Moulton for Tellini's Italiano. Tellini's Italiano is located right in front of the Walmart, right off of University, behind the McDonald's. More or less catty corner from Topgolf. It's one of my favorite places to go to, and if you go there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you need to try the baked spaghetti, add a meatball. Also try the baked ziti with meat sauce, add sausage. You'll thank me. Save room for some pizzas and paninis as well. And don't forget about dessert as well. The best cheesecake I have had here in North Alabama is at Tellini's Italiano. Find out for yourself today. That's Tellini's Italiano, right off of University Drive in front of the Walmart. Located online at Tellinis.com. That's TELLINIS.com. Let's get some Tellini's tonight.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. If any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today, 256-208-9000, 256-208-9000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day, Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Talking ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If you're looking for baseball, there is no Major League Baseball that you should care about tonight. Obviously, Braves are off after losing 2 of 3 from Boston last night. Unless you're wanting to watch college baseball, that is the only thing that's still kind of going on as far as this evening is concerned. If you're looking at that, there are 6 different Game 7s happening tonight, college baseball-wise.
Game 7s?
It's the 7th game of the series, of the regional. So, like, whenever you look at a bracket, it'll say Game 1, Game 2, Game 3, Game 4, and it'll be like winner of Game 1, winner of Game 2. So this is considered G7.
Oh, okay.
So this is the 7th game.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's the reason why it is a Game 7.
Well, that works out perfectly because at the end of any playoff game in the pros, it would be Game 7. So that's very interesting, which we might get from the upcoming Stanley Cup final because it's between 2 teams that were at a Game 7 last year. So just something
taking
interesting.
Forever to get that thing started.
Yeah. Wednesday is when you're going to be able to watch the Stanley Cup Game 1. So
my daughter, again, she loves hockey and baseball, and she goes, hockey? I'm like, no hockey on tonight. Hockey? No hockey on tonight. I was like, look, don't blame me. Stanley Cup's taking forever. So Wednesday night, we can watch hockey as she goes to sleep.
That's when you hit her with Baki, because Baki's all about fighting. It's a fighting anime.
2-5-6-5-7-6-977.
We got Smokey Mike with us.
Smokey,
how you doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm doing fantastic. And by the way, if you want to show hockey, just put on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, man. You know, like bring that movie back. You know,
It's the worst of the 3 Ninja Turtle movies, man.
it is. But you know what? It gives some perspective for Hokey.
It does. It does. I get it because they're sitting there and they're like, "What? They're on ice in this magic box? Like what?" But at the same time, it's still the worst one. Like it is so awful. Like how bad was your thought process that you couldn't come up with a better story other than the fact that you're traveling through time to go through and go to ancient Japan? It's an awful premise.
Well, also remember, like, this is one of those franchises where the second was better than the first, to be honest with you.
Seriously, second one's my favorite. Secret of the Ooze. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I don't look, that's not just one of the greatest. That's one of the greatest movie openings ever.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this is actually sad that we're talking about this. But yes, Secret of the
It's not that. It's not sad. Like, it's bringing back some good childhood memories and all that stuff. And John probably doesn't understand because he wasn't even born during this time.
It's funny because I actually had a lot of the toys though from this because my older brother Joe, he watched these movies. He loved the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff. He showed it to us too. I don't remember the third one though.
No, third one's awful.
Third
one's awful. Secret of the Ooze, the Ninja Turtles costumes looked way better. Okay, you had that. The intro so much cooler. You got Vanilla Ice in this one as well. I mean, there were so many reasons why this movie was so good.
I completely forgot about Ninja Rap, man.
Dude, I know, because here's what's cool. Because when the cartoon came out, Mutant Mayhem came out, they inserted Ninja Rap into it as an Easter egg. Like they're fighting, I forget where they're fighting at. The turtles are fighting somebody, and they're in like a car repair shop, and one of the turtles gets thrown over to a car, and right when he hits the car, the radio comes on, and it's Ninja Rap. Like, yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was incredibly cool. So that was the reason why my son, I was able to get him to start listening to Ninja Rap because he saw it in the Mutant Mayhem movie.
So anyway, we're speaking college baseball, and I have actually my Natty hat on, so I figured I'd come and chime in because today's game day.
It is game day.
I am ready for the W, and I'm ready to face them Pigs because if it's not Vandy, I want the Pigs. Like Dave Van Horn and Tony Vitello are very heated with each other, so it's going to be a beautiful supers if we get that. But anybody that gets mad about any coach during this time not making like a College World Series or anything like that, just remember Tony Vitello in 2022 because that was the best college baseball team I have ever seen.
Yeah. You're talking about the one that lost to Notre Dame, right? In the supers?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, look, and that is the reason why I continue to say the college baseball tournament is the hardest tournament to win in all of sports.
No, the more you say it, Joe, the more that I'm siding with you because having to win out of a region where you can't lose 2 games or you're done for in such an unpredictable sport, it's definitely true.
The amount of double elimination tournaments you have to win just to get to the national championship round, which is also a double elimination tournament, it is outlandish to think about how difficult it is.
I mean, Joe, you know as well as I do, that 2022 Vol team was better than the Natty winner last year. Which, speaking of that,
absolutely,
I need to take this hat up to Toyota Field and try and get Simo to sign it because he's going to get called up soon. And
he's already gone.
He's gone.
Yeah,
he left.
Oh,
yeah.
It happened early last week. He got called up to Salt Lake City.
Yeah. A lot of players getting called up right now, actually.
Look, man, when you're Anaheim and your team sucks, you're going to start calling players up, okay? I mean, the Royals is about to call up Caglione.
I'm excited for that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so you know what? Blake Burke, he's going to be in Biloxi coming up, so I'll get him to sign it.
There you go.
Screw Biloxi.
Hey, you can still. Did he get Sonny D's signature?
Why would you?
Excuse me.
Why would you get his signature on the Tennessee hat?
On the hat.
Why not?
Why would I get his signature on the hat?
Okay.
Why? Why would you get his hat?
I thought it'd be funny.
No.
Just get any signature from. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Did you see Max Fried when somebody wanted him to sign a Mets hat?
No.
He looked at it like, "Are you absolutely out of your mind? There's no way I'm signing a Mets hat."
shame.
Yeah.
Absolutely shame.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I'm going to give an Auburn guy a hat that says Tennessee National Champions to be like, oh, yeah, please sign this. Like, oh, yeah, that's going to really help, like, any
come
type
on.
of relations or anything.
That makes no sense whatsoever.
You might never meet him again. You got to stand out in that interesting.
And look like
I'm
an idiot.
Smokey Mike. I can stand out however I want anyway. Like, I mean, there's no issue with that. But, I mean, God, this thing is. Why do we always go like away in the left field with
absolutely.
each other?
Yeah, no,
I
absolutely.
think that's just the way this show goes.
But I just want, like, I mean, I just wanted to comment on being like, you know what? Last year, it was not as good of a team as 2022, and 2022 should have won the Natty, but they didn't even make Omaha. Like that's how difficult this tournament is.
Oh, absolutely. No, it all comes down to, one lucky hit, or I should say one perfectly timed hit, because it's not luck a lot of times. Like, even look at the way that Alabama lost to Southern Miss. Like, that was a breaking ball low and inside that he took oppo, and you shouldn't have been able to make that hit. That should have been a ground ball to second base. Instead of what it was is you actually hit a line drive over the second baseman's head. You score 2 runs. You end up winning the game in the 9th inning. Like, those are the things that happened in a regional game, just like Wright State dominating Vanderbilt for majority of that game.
Oh, I mean, come on now. We talk about the domination in that, but that also is taking into account the baseball that happens, the unpredictability. There should have been a ball that stayed in play. If it stayed in play, if it was even just a little bit closer to the wall, then Vanderbilt would have tied this game up. But instead, it bounces over the wall. It's a ground rule double. It's the worst thing that could have happened to him.
Well, it is, but at the same time, that is baseball.
And that is an elimination game, though, that would have pushed Vanderbilt forward and not seen them maybe lose to a Louisville later in the day. But even with a game like that, the opponent pushes you so hard. For Wright State, I think that was the final game, and they knew it even after this one. They didn't think that they would be able to beat Vanderbilt, let alone Louisville, right afterwards. So, I mean, that is
the exact reason why this is the hardest tournament, because everybody talks about going against the team that's going up against elimination. It is the hardest thing that you're ever going to have to deal with in sport. And you're going to have to deal with people that are getting ready to be eliminated time in and time out over and over and over and over again.
Yeah. No. Wright State, good stuff by them getting that win against Vanderbilt, but Louisville, again,
but boys,
no losses.
Y'all be good. And I'm going to try and find a way to acquire a 5-figure card that I saw last night, and I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try my best to
Just keep ripping packs, brother. It's all about the process.
All right, y'all be good.
Good stuff.
See, bro.
Oh, yeah. Game of inches. Vanderbilt knows that very well. I haven't. Okay. So Texas, they just got straight up manhandled by UTSA.
Yes.
Because I didn't watch a second of this series,
Yes.
which I really, I'm disappointed in myself for it. But again, I'm not going to be able to catch every little bit of baseball. You said you were watching on, what was it?
Squeeze play.
Squeeze play.
I watched it literally.
That's like the red zone of the college.
It was the red zone of the
Series?
NCAA baseball tournament.
Yeah.
You had.
I was on that for a second.
It was every single game as far as when there was interesting things happening. Again, Auburn last night was up on NC State 7-0. They're not going to keep going back to that if nothing is taking place. It was you're watching the most interesting games, the most interesting moments. It's very similar to the red zone. And if you do it on the ESPN app, like I was doing it, you get no commercials the entire time. So you're watching just straight baseball. Every single play, game goes to commercial, they move it off the box, they go to the games that are live. Game comes back on, they put it back into the box. And no, Texas A&M, it got eliminated so quickly in the year that they were having such a bad time, but then they get to watch, and Texas destroyed Kansas State earlier in the day, and then they turn around and they have to play UTSA. And when they played UTSA, that 7-4 final, which is what it was nowhere close to 7-4. It was 7-2 in the 9th inning, and they had a 2-run bomb late into this just to get it to 7-4. They get one man on again. They needed the time run that was on deck to get to the plate, and they weren't able to do it.
I do remember this one being a blowout for a majority of it. I just tuned off of it because I was seeing the updates come across my phone.
UTSA had like a 5-run inning, like in the third or something.
But similar to like the Wright State lead, I was just like, this is too big of a lead for it to actually stand. And for one team, Vanderbilt, they were able to get close and almost win the thing. But for another team, Texas, they never found that spark, and they just kind of fell flat in the last 2 innings with only 3 runs to show for
And
it.
it's crazy because UTSA actually has more wins in Texas this season. UTSA is 46-13, where Texas was 44-13. So you look at it from a record standpoint, you're like, wait a second, UTSA is actually good. They are good. That's the reason why they make it to a super regional. But we just expected so much from this Texas team. We stop watching the TV with racing. I swear to Heavenly Father, I will turn this off.
My eyes instantly was like, let's go.
Nobody cares. So the whole thing about it is you are dominating a team that should be, and many probably would have even picked them to be your national champion.
Mm-hmm.
And then you lose to little brother in state.
I'm just still looking at Arkansas.
No, Arkansas dominated.
I love what I'm seeing on this bottom of the bracket. Auburn and Arkansas both doing exactly what a lot of people anticipated them to do, and that's take care of freaking business.
Okay, now and then we turn it around. Then why is everybody on Rob Vaughn? Like, why is everybody hating on him?
He went 0-2.
Well, he's 0-4 in regional plays.
And now he's 0-4, yeah.
He went 0-2 last year too.
But I mean, he's won some stuff with Maryland. He's not been able to really live up to that SEC hype so far when it comes to getting to the postseason. But right now, not a lot of teams can live up to that hype. I mean, you can look at Vanderbilt. They've won in the past. They've done great things. Texas has gone far. But Alabama, I mean, what has Rob Vaughn truly done for Alabama that shows success other than, maybe a 35-40 wins? Maybe.
Yeah, those are massive.
It's massive, but it doesn't account to much if you're not winning the championships, or you're not getting the SEC trophies, or you're not getting to the World Series, you're not getting to Omaha.
So here's the thing is I understand that Alabama fans want all of their programs to win. I mean, you want your basketball program to always go to the Final Four. You want your football program to always play in the college football playoff.
Look at what the Vols were doing for the last 3 years.
I understand. Do you know the last time that Alabama played in the College World Series?
It was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
If that is 1999.
Oh, I must be mixing up the time they got to the Supers.
No, they've gotten to the Supers, and then they got beat by Wake Forest, which was arguably the best team in the tournament that year that they made it to the Supers. But it's been since 1999, 26 years. 26 years. Now, state politics, that plays into a lot of it. It's actually the reason why what Butch Thompson's doing at Auburn is amazing. You can argue right now that Butch Thompson is the greatest baseball coach in Auburn history. You can definitely argue that, especially in the NIL era, especially when you're in a state the way that we are, where you don't give out or in-state tuition to out-of-state players and things like that, like other SEC schools do. Again, that may not be an issue once you start getting into if every sport becomes a scholarship sport, that doesn't matter. But what Butch Thompson is doing at Auburn is absolutely unbelievable to see that he's been able to win as much as he has with the amount of problems and the amount of hurdles that every team in the state of Alabama has to deal with compared to the other teams in the SEC. Like, Rob Vaughn is playing with a deck that is not on the par with everybody else.
Oh, it's nerfed.
I mean, it absolutely is. And the fact that he's winning the 30 and 40 games and he's getting the team to be where they are and they're making it to look, they were almost a regional host this year.
Mm-hmm.
They were. You beat Tennessee, you may become a regional host. But why are we automatically wanting to question everything about Rob Vaughn when the situation he came into wasn't like it was the best to begin with because your coach couldn't stop gambling?
Yeah, that was a tough situation. But
And
that's when they got to the Supers.
Yeah,
that year.
I mean, again, with
on a whim,
absolutely.
Felt like it.
But you are going into a situation where you're basically building the program up because of the fact that you've had so much turnover, and with all the stuff that happened previously, you're getting kids to actually believe in you as a head coach. And great, getting Maryland to a tournament isn't going to pull the same way. This again, if you would have pulled a Brian O'Connor and you got him to go to Alabama and he was 0-4 in regional play, okay, I understand you going, what the heck? this guy is supposed to be this great. You got a coach from Maryland to come into the SEC, and he's playing in a situation right now that he is behind a lot of brick walls trying to be successful at Alabama with his baseball team.
I'm just glad he's self-aware of the lead that he's in, and also on top of that, I mean, it's not impossible for this team to lose. They can bleed too, and I think the only reason people are truly upset right now is because of the way that they lost. That you lose to Miami, then you lose to Southern Miss. You get double doozied, and then you're out of the tournament.
You were going to lose to Southern Miss regardless. Like, that's the Southern Miss was the best team in there. That's why they were the host.
You would have wanted to see at least one win. So that's why I looked at that Miami loss, and I was thinking, wow, they really should have won that one, maybe moved forward. If they got that win, they would have got to face off against Columbia, got a little extra momentum, and then pushed forward to a Southern Miss, who they could have won against in the end.
But no, like the way that this Alabama baseball team was set up, yes, offensively, you may have been able to play to an extent with Southern Miss, but the whole concept and the whole idea was going to be Alabama versus Middleton in day 2. Now, you didn't think it was going to be in the losers round in a winner go home type game, but you knew that's who you were going to have to beat. And you honestly did a great job in playing against him. But you also going into a regional with a Southern Miss team that you could wholeheartedly see them in Omaha. So why are we wanting to just basically destroy Rob Vaughn? That's where I'm very curious about that. 256-576.
46-15, by the way, Southern Miss's record. Just to make sure everybody knew that.
What?
97-7, by the way. To get in on the show, Harry is with us. Harry, how you doing, brother man? How are you, Harry?
Hey, guys, I just want to offer a little bit pushback on Joe's opinion that Butch Thompson was the best coach for Auburn going on right now. Hal Beard holds the record for that right now in the fandom of considerations. Thompson's doing a great job under athletic director Cohen, who was also a Mississippi State alum. But right now, he's providing the resources that Thompson needs, and Thompson's legacy will be to continue to play like he's coached like he's done for the last several years. But in Auburn fandom, baseball coaches is Hal Beard, and he's tremendous contributor to both baseball, but the overall athletic program there at Auburn with his leadership and mentorship of baseball players and athletes while they were there at Auburn.
Oh, I mean, look, and trust me, that was when I was getting recruited by Auburn. I wanted to play for Hal. So the fact that he left in 2001, I was sad about that. Like 2000 was his last season. I'm like, well, that sucks. This was the guy I was wanting to play for. So no, and I get that. And I get that you can't compare like super regional appearances and all that because Hal Baird never had to deal with that because it was just a regional and then the College World Series because regionals had 6 teams in it because it was only 48. But it was the reason I say that and say that you could argue it is that, you know, Hal made it to 2 College World Series and Butch has already made it to 2 there. And now, obviously, when you have Frank Thomas and you have, you know, Tim Hudson and those types of players, Greg Olson, and Bo Jackson, those, yes, the conversation is going to always go towards him. And we've had a lot of time to remember it. But I'm just saying from a winning standpoint, what Butch Thompson's doing right now, like that is amazing to see how much he is winning there with the stuff that he's having to go through as far as the state of Alabama behind it with the baseball program.
I agree totally. But also the thing to notice is Cohen, the athletic director, Roberts, the president of the university, and Benny Nathan, the provost. That's the strongest leadership Auburn's had on campus, and synchronized with the athletic department. I've been an Auburn fan since 1962, and I can't remember a stronger leadership team there between the president, the athletic director, the provost, and the coaching staff of the university. If you look across the board, Auburn athletics is really shining under that leadership and mentorship by that team of Cohen, Roberts, and provost Benny Nathan.
Yeah, no, you are totally correct on that because if this was 4 or 5 years ago, 6 and 7 years ago, and we saw Auburn had hosted numerous regionals previously, they wouldn't have brought in the extra seating and they wouldn't have done all the heck. They wouldn't have even added the stuff to the top of the monster like they have there. Like they wouldn't have even looked at any of this stuff and I know that was more of a Green thing than it was Cohen, but it got done. Those types of decisions and the way that the baseball program is, the adding the seating closer to the home plate, where that used to just be just the brick wall where, it looked so odd, like nobody was watching the games. All of the renovations that they've done to Plainsman Park has been absolutely tremendous for that baseball program.
And it's true across the campus when you look across the athletic facilities, both for basketball, women's sports, also for soccer, softball. That leadership that Cohen's bringing, and that synchronization and integration across the thing with Sankey's vision for the Southeastern Conference is really manifesting itself in Auburn in a lot of good ways. And that, of course, this baseball venue is doing well, but it's gonna be a testimony to that. Chris Roberts and Vinny Nathan, the provost and athletic director, who's putting that emphasis and empowering those coaches at that level to coach and lead. And he marshaled the resources, Cohen, to make the programs. When you're down there on campus in the spring, particularly, you see Cohen at multiple events. You see him at baseball games. You see him at equestrian. You see him at women's softball. He's all over that campus every day, championing those events and those athletes.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's, again, the leadership at Auburn is very different from what it was a decade ago.
Absolutely.
It is, and for numerous reasons as to why it is. But no, I appreciate that call. And again, you're right. Hal Baird is still the standard. He absolutely is. It's just right now with the success that Butch Thompson is having, like it is one of those that you have to look at, because it is crazy to see how well this Auburn team has been playing with the way, again, especially after last year, not even making the SEC tournament, let alone the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, one of the tragic things I miss. I wish we had had the opportunity to have Andy Burcham talk about Pat Dye and Hal Beard together on a podcast and during the trouble times when Dye was struggling as the athletic director and head coach. Beard was doing a lot of behind the scenes work across the campus, holding the family together.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You are definitely not. We appreciate that phone call, man. Thank you. Yeah, and that's look, and again, Hal Baird is going to be the standard for Auburn, especially like with the fact that you do have Bo and Frank and Greg Olson and Tim Hudson, and I want to say Josh Donaldson also played for Baird, if I remember that correctly. It may have been Renfro that he played for, but like, yes, you have all of those. And, Casey Mize right now is probably the biggest name for Butch Thompson when it comes to players in Major League Baseball. And right now he's like a number 3 starter for the Detroit Tigers. So, those are things with the legacy of Butch Thompson is about what the players, once they leave the program, become. And obviously we haven't had that time yet because he's only been there since 2016.
Yeah, and the time will come. It'll just come in quite some time. Josh Donaldson, by the way, a little bit after. He was just a little bit after.
What year did he graduate from Auburn?
It was around 2006, 2005.
Okay, so that would have been a Renfro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been
Right
a Renfro.
Thought he was a little bit younger. I just wanted to make sure. But
Yeah, it was. I know it was during the time because I was dealing with the change whenever I was getting recruited between Baird and Renfro.
Joe, there's only one Pac-12 team. It's so weird to even think about it. Still in this tournament, and they're actually giving South California a run for their money, aka USC. They've got Game 3 tonight against each other in Game 7 of the regional, and I'm interested to look at that. But there's a little bit more buzz going on around Washington State, the other Pac-12 team.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, I couldn't even name the Pac-12 teams, and I think there's only 2.
I just named 2 of them.
Just what I was about to say. I genuinely sit here right now, and as you were naming them, I was just thinking, he's got to be talking about like Oregon State.
I'm setting up for a fun quip as we head into the final segment of the show. We'll be back here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, and WZZN TV. New segment up next.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
The sound of the organ. The crack of the bat.
It is gone.
The sight of watching the ball go over the wall. And the taste of peanuts and Cracker Jacks. There's nothing like it. It's America's pastime. From the first pitch to the final out, you can hear every game right here on your home for Alabama baseball.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit lifetimeepoxyfloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Listen to the Rocket City Trash Pandas all season long.
Next pitch is drilled. Deep to left field. Back goes Edsel. At the wall, it's out of here. Like a tomato, ketchup squished it.
Trash Panda Baseball is only on Talk Radio WZZN.
Last segment, best segment, brought to you by Bobcats of Huntsville. John and myself going to be out there on June 27th for their open house.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
New Bobcat of Huntsville location is awesome. Joe, I went down there, and I know you look at me, you don't think I know myself some heavy equipment, but I did work in the rental business for a little bit. We had some skid steers, some mini excavators, some giant excavators, and everything kind of in the middle. And I got to say, a lot of people who either rent that type of equipment or they buy that type of equipment, very particular about what they get, especially because this equipment can get up there in price. I'll say this, Bobcat of Huntsville, the Bobcats there, they've got AC, they got these awesome little, there's all the whole nooks and cranny of these devices. I've been out of it for a little bit, but once I see it, dude, I could probably sit in those the machines that they got ride them for hours and maybe I don't know, do some construction on like a driveway or something. But yeah, very happy that they're able to join us in the show. And I'm very happy that we're going to be able to join them at their open house where they're going to have some door prizes as well. So you're going to want to show up as well as food.
Right now to the end of June, 0% financing on all Bobcat skid steers, excavators, mowers, tractors, all of that you can get. And don't forget that if you want to go by and visit those, that's where we're going to be coming up on June 27th. It is on Highway 20 in Madison, right next to the Redstone Harley Davidson.
Oh, yeah. So you guys can look at some big old equipment and then just like maybe stumble across the Harley Davidson and see some of their smaller equipment. It doesn't live up to the hype at Bobcat. Regardless, I brought up this Oregon State thing that you don't care about whatsoever. You don't even care about the Pac-12 at this point, which I used to be.
I care about Oregon State baseball-wise because, again, it's a historically a fantastic program.
But I don't want to look at Oregon
I just don't
State.
look at them as a Pac-12.
I don't want to look at Oregon State. I want to look at Washington State. Specifically, the state of Washington.
Why?
Because over the weekend, I said this because there's a lot of buzz around the state right now. There was an 18-wheeler that fell over, Joe. Fell sideways.
Sweet God.
Onto the road. And 70,000 pounds.
Can we just talk NASCAR?
70,000 pounds
NASCAR thing here
of honey beehives fell over, and it included 250 million honeybees.
I'm giving you the opportunity to do your
released.
NASCAR thing.
It was in Nashville. Joe, you can't just like discourage me on anything that I'm throwing out there. I'm trying to have some fun. If you rely on some of this fun and you hop in on the fun with me, then you'll have fun as well. You'll see that.
So
NASCAR wasn't so fun. Third stage was very boring. But hey, Carson Hocevar got second. He was the rookie of the year last year.
So you don't even mention the winner. You just go straight to the guy that came in second, the first loser.
Yeah, I like the first loser a little bit better.
Okay.
So,
buddy of mine actually waved the green flag during the Saturday race.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fun.
You know him.
Do I?
Blaine Bishop.
Oh,
yeah. He always waves the flag for the start of the Saturday race.
Wish he could have joined us.
Yeah, he was doing it. No, he would absolutely love to join us. I just got to text him. It's just that I gave you the opportunity. I'm literally telling you, you can talk NASCAR here.
I'm upset that you
the honeybees.
I'm upset you wouldn't let me talk about the honeybees. Damn it!
I don't. I'm trying to figure out why that's the biggest thing going on in the state of Washington.
Because it's the only thing going on in Washington. Ryan Blaney, by the way, was the winner of that race yesterday.
Yes.
It was uneventful at the very end. No wrecks. The second stage was the best one, I'll say. Some wrecks.
Yeah.
Cars sliding around a little left and right. That track's just not very fun after everybody gets spread out.
Yeah.
But some people say that's just NASCAR.
There you go.
Well, Joe,
I gave you the opportunity.
I'll re-up tomorrow. Maybe we'll have more fun things to talk about, like football. But
no, football was silent.
I'll stick with the baseball talk if I got it, but you might be leading heavily as we head into our Tuesday. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
I love you.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, Insulate with Eagle.